It's a fair question, and I get asked it all the time. How do you ski so much? If you don't know who I am, I'm Lincoln Riddle, aka Lincoln in the Adirondacks. I live in northern New York, and I call the Adirondack Mountains home. I'm a skier, a hiker, and a kayaker, and I just love being out in the mountains as much as possible, especially during ski season. You know, my motto, literally what I live by, is never quit skiing. And for that reason, I have skied 136 days this winter. And so naturally, I get asked, how do you ski so much all the time? And do you have a job? You know, those kinds of questions. And I wanted to make a video to address that because I frequently get asked them literally all the time, all winter. So that's what this video is. I'm also gonna have a Q&A at the end here of some questions I was asked on social media. So let's talk about it. I skied 136 days this winter. That's a lot of days. There are people who've skied more, of course, and there's people who have skied that amount every single year for a long time. This is my first time ever skiing more than 100 days, so it's quite exciting to finally reach that milestone. Of course, I have a season pass. There's no way I could do it without a season pass. I had this winter a Ski 3 season pass to Orta. Those are the state-run ski areas here in New York. That's Whiteface, Gore, and Bel Air. I've never been to Bel Air, but I do ski at Whiteface and Gore throughout the winter. Those aren't the only places I skied at. I went to Titus Mountain, I went to Beartown Ski Area just outside of Plattsburgh, Jay Peak, Sugar Bush, Bolton Valley. So I did ski at other places, but the majority of my ski days were definitely spent at Whiteface. That's what's playing behind me here on this TV. I put in over 100 ski days there. And then I also put in a significant number of days at Jay Peak, over 10 days. I ended up buying a pass in the spring for next winter. I do in fact have a job. It's a popular question that people ask me. So I do work 4 a.m. to noon every day during the week, and after work I go ski. And on the weekends I go ski. And my wife is supportive of my ski endeavors. We don't have kids. So that just allows me to ski as much as possible, those 3 things. So originally my goal this season was just to ski 100 days. I've never skied that much. I've only been skiing for 5 seasons consistently. And the last few seasons I hit in the 80s, and then last year I hurt my knees and I finished in the 70s. So this year my goal was I'm gonna ski 100 days. I actually hit that on March 12th, and then I just kind of kept going. I was having such a good time. And also the snow just kind of kept coming here in the east. You know, we had a lull there and then it just picked right back up. So I couldn't stop skiing and made it to 136 obviously. But after I hit 100 ski days, I did put out a Q&A on Twitter asking people to ask me questions that they had. So I want to do that Q&A now. I had intended to do this a long time ago, but let's do it now. First question is, do you have an Icon or an Epic pass? So no, I don't. I don't have the full pass. I bought an Epic multi-day pass this season to ski at Stowe in Vermont. I'd really recommend that if you want to ski at an Epic resort a day or two. If you buy it early enough before next winter, it's actually a pretty good deal. I think I paid like $85 per day. And to ski at Stowe, you know, Stowe charges like $150 plus mid-season. It's a pretty good deal, pretty good value. And of course, you don't have to use it at one ski area. I could have skied anywhere I wanted, but I chose to use it at Stowe. As far as the Icon Pass goes, I have an Icon Session Pack for next winter. That's the first Icon product I've ever bought. Next question is, what was your worst and best days of the season? My best day of the season was at Jay Peak, and it was incredible. It was early April. It dumped. Big time dump, and this was after several weeks of dumping. The trees were in play, and it was absolutely amazing. I was with a buddy and his friends who I'd never met before, and we just had an awesome time skiing Jay Peak. The powder was deep, and at like 11 a.m. we found untracked glades. Like, it was awesome. Worst day of the season was probably one of 2 days that involved significant wind and lift holds at Whiteface. I don't remember when they were, what time of the season they fell, July and February probably. But there were 2 days this season at Whiteface where the only lift open was a beginner lift, 2 beginner lifts, and a lift that serves mid-mountain, like the Legacy Lodge. It's called the Notch. And it was really just very limited terrain, icy, generally speaking, rough days. But hey, I was skiing, I can't complain about that. Are you getting better at skiing, or have you hit a wall? So the last couple of seasons, I don't think I progressed so much, but this winter I finally really got into skiing the trees. I had never really skied the trees until this season, and so I put in a lot of time in the woods this year and slowly started to get better. You know, the trees are intimidating at first, but once you realize you're just going slow through the trees, that kind of really helped me start to get better at them. And I was skiing at like Jay Peak and Bolton Valley. Those really help with the trees as well. Bumped runs, moguls, that's something that I had struggled with as well. This season I really kind of pursued that more as well and really saw an advancement in both of those skill sets. What do you do for fatigue and recovery so that you're refreshed for the next day of skiing? That's not really an issue for me. Early in the season it is, but the longer the season goes, I'm just so stuck in that habit of skiing that I don't really feel any fatigue or any issues. I mean, my longest ski day streak of the winter was like 22 days or 23 days. I skied that long in a row, 3 weeks in a row. And usually I don't take more than a day or two off when I need to. So once we get through the initial first weeks of the ski season, that's not really an issue anymore for me. Best advice I have, just keep skiing. That's the only thing I can recommend is just keep skiing. How long do you ski each day? We have a Band-Aid commercial on behind me. All right, now we're back to skiing. How long do I ski each day? It depends on the day of the week. During the week, after work, I usually ski from about 1 to 4. On the weekends, I get in usually 5 hours of skiing, and I don't really take any breaks. I just ski continuously. If I take off work for like a weekday of skiing, I'll be there the whole day usually, or as much as possible, and I will take a break then. But usually during the week, you're looking at 3 hours of skiing, and then on the weekend, 5, depending on what's going on. Well, that wraps it up for the questions that I've been asked on Twitter. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will answer as many of them as I can. Unfortunately, the off season is here, and one question that I do often get asked is, what do you do in the off season? You ski all the time, like in the off season, what do you do? Well, during the summer months, I hike, I kayak. I'm looking forward to trying to get into downhill mountain biking this summer. I've never really done it. I've like cross-country mountain biked, I guess is what you'd call it. But I've never downhilled, so I'm hoping to try that out this summer. Can't believe I skied 136 days. Hopefully I've got another day left in me. Maybe I'll get to Killington before it's over, but if not, you know, I think I made the most of this winter for sure. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.